Hey guys, Blocktrain here with another coin review, and today I wanted to talk about Basic Attention Token. Now, Basic Attention Token is a utility token, so what that means is it's a token that has a very specific purpose. Like the reason why you would use this token is a very narrow reason, but I think that's actually better than not because on a very basic level, all cryptos are money, and money can be used in almost any way. And that's why it can get confusing to understand, what coins are doing, because at the end of the day, you're saying, hey, can't I do that with cash? And so attention token is nice, or BAT for short, as I'll be calling it from now on. It's nice because you know why you would want to purchase BAT, you know where you would want to use BAT, and if you understand the system, it just makes sense why BAT should exist as a token, as a currency, all those things. And that's what makes it a really a really good utility token. And in this video, I'm just going to explain how BAT and Brave, a browser that the BAT team is also collaborating and making with, they're led by the same person, and how they work in conjunction to really overthrow, I think, not so much Facebook but Google in terms of its grip over the browser, Google Chrome, and digital advertising amongst different websites on the browser. So let's jump right into it. And I first wanted to take you guys down to this little diagram that the Basic Attention team made for everyone on their website. And it kind of just shows really nicely what the advantages of using BAT and the Brave system are, and how each party who is part of this digital advertising service is involved and how they benefit. So the first thing they say is that the Brave browser anonymously monitors user attention, then rewards publishers accordingly with BATs. So here's the first thing I want to talk about, which is anonymity. This is probably the biggest use case of Brave and BAT with advertising, is because when you think about how Google advertises, what they do is they basically just track you on their browser. They say, okay, like you log into your Gmail. Now they know who you are. You go into all these different sites. They connect that. They say, hey, this guy, we know his name. We know who he is because of his email. And let's say his Facebook. And then they see which websites you go, and they make a little profile of you. They say, okay, this guy does this guy likes that, this guy likes that. And they use that information and they sell it. Who do they sell it to? They can sell it to, nefarious people like Facebook with, Cambridge Analytica. But for the most part, they use it for advertisements, which, you might not like, but, you can understand why they do that. And what people have to understand is that it's not free to use the internet. Why would it be free? You don't understand what you're losing because you can't see your data. And you don't realize how extensively they're tracking you. And what BAT and the Brave browser do together is that they give you this anonymity shield. So how this works is, the way that I like to think about how this works is that it's kind of like Bitcoin, where when you're using Bitcoin or sending with Bitcoin, there's no anonymity in terms of your transactions. People know that, hey, this wallet, which is your wallet, transacted to that wallet, to another wallet. But at the same time, they don't know who's behind that wallet. And that's where the anonymity is. It's separating your money from you. Even though you know that this is your wallet, nobody else knows that it's your wallet. In the same way, the Brave browser makes it so that they can take your data. They can say, hey, this person, on this browser, they're doing this, they do this, they like this. And they gather your data so that's useful for advertisers. But at the same time, they don't know who you are. There's no face or name behind the data, but the data is still useful because they know they're advertising to a person who has this specific, specific collection of likes and dislikes that you would want to advertise to. And that's the really cool thing because, it implements blockchain technology to do the exact same thing that Bitcoin does in terms of, making their transactions, not their transactions private, but making, them private while their transactions are not. At the same time, your data is not private, yes, but your name is, so that they can't connect who you are to your data, but your data is still being used. And what's cool about this is that, Google lets you use their browser for free. They let you use all their services for free in order to take your data. Now, the BAT and Brave team do this to an extent, but at the same time, you're being rewarded with BAT. So here's how it works. So you have three parties, or four parties really. You have the BAT team. So they're right in the middle. They facilitate, they're the medium, They connect all the groups together, kind of like Google connects all the groups together. And then you have the user, which is, your average Joe just surfing the web, watching YouTube videos, watching Twitch, going on websites. You have the advertiser, which is the business owner who wants to advertise their product, who wants to reach their target audience. Then you have the publisher, and the publisher is a person of influence who can influence enough people. Maybe it's a Twitch streamer who has a nice gamer following, or like a news site which has people who are intensely interested in economics. Whereas these are people or websites that have a lot of people who listen to them or who get something from them, whether it's entertainment, whether it's information. And in return, they're able to advertise to them or have ads on their platform to advertise to the user. So how this works is that the advertiser pays the BAT team. And the BAT team takes 5%, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a little bit more than that. But they take a small amount of the money that the advertiser gives them. And the rest of it goes two ways. It goes to the publisher. So the publisher receives BAT based on how much people are watching their ads. At the same time, whenever a user watches the ad, they also get paid. So the money that the advertiser spends a small portion gets taken by the BAT team, and then the rest of it gets distributed based on attention to the ad, to both the user, to the person watching, and the publisher, the person who the user is watching. And it's a really cool system where almost everybody gains. The user gets BAT. You are literally getting money for watching ads. It's no longer you're watching ads in order to, enjoy this free software. No, you're watching ads so that you can get this small bit of money. And at the same time, you're doing it in a safer way where your privacy is protected. And then you have the publisher, and the publisher just gets more money. Just straight up, they get more money. And here's the thing about the publisher is that they don't have to have only one way of getting money. Right now, a lot of YouTubers are actually using the BAT Brave system in which they can receive payments, but that's not the only thing they're doing. They're still running Google ads. They still have Google ads on their platform. They're still going out and trying to find new ways to make money. So it's not like the publisher only can receive BAT, but it's just an extra way. So there's really no reason why the publisher wouldn't implement this BAT system. And then you have the advertiser. And the advertiser achieve higher return on investment because BAT, their mission, their goal is to provide an accurate way to measure attention. So whenever you're watching an ad on the side of the page, almost nobody ever clicks on those or even looks at them. But, advertisers still have to pay a little bit for it to be there. And what the BAT white paper and, the team are saying is that, hey, instead of just having ads everywhere on the web, why don't we just have ads in places where people do want to see them, where people who opt into this BAT Brave system say, okay, like I understand I'm watching this ad right now, and I'm going to be paid a small amount of money for it, so I will devote my attention to this ad. And that's BAT's goal. That's their target. That's what they want. They don't want to have a bunch of ads everywhere just so, they can pay their users a bunch. No, they're going to be very specific and deliberate in the way that they present their ads so that they can capture as much user attention as possible. And that's great for the advertiser because every dollar that they spend will be more effective than every dollar that they would spend with Google. Better targeting is because you can kind of, go deeper into the data that you see because it's anonymous, because, you don't have to worry about these privacy concerns because inherently the privacy of the data is protected because you don't have a name or a face to put that data to, but that data is still useful. It's as useful as if you were on Google. It's the same data, and it's attributed to the person. You don't need to know the person's name. You just need to know what they like. So that's what's good for the advertiser, and I've already talked about what's good for the publisher. So the BAT token is just a great system for connecting all these people and really giving them extra rights or benefits, whether it's privacy, whether it's higher ROI and better targeting, or whether it's more money. Every single person involved in the BAT Brave ecosystem has a reason to be there. And I think that's just a smartly designed system, and that's why I really like BAT. So let's talk a little bit about Brave, which is the browser that works side by side with BAT. You can't have one without the other. They work together. So Brave is a browser. It's like Google Chrome. It's like Firefox. It's like what was the privacy one? Is that DuckDuckGo or is that a search browser? Well, regardless, you get the point. Like Firefox, Safari. That's what Brave is. It's the browser. And this is the front page if you download it. I downloaded it about 30 minutes ago, so I don't have that many blocks right here. But also pro tip, just on a side note, the mobile Brave app is the absolute best browser app for the phone. You save a bunch of battery. There are no ads, so you just load faster. Things are just generally faster and smoother. The only bad thing is that sometimes it can be a little wonky because some websites aren't optimized for Brave, and Brave is still really it's really early in Brave's development, so you shouldn't be expecting a full out like Google Chrome type of browser right away. They're still working on the extensions that they have, the plugins that they have, functionality. It's still all in the works. But especially for mobile, where you don't need a lot of those extensions or plugins that a lot of you use, it's incredibly useful just for preserving battery life and just having a better mobile browsing experience. So, that aside, let's talk about the desktop browser. So, as you can see here, 13 trackers blocked, 16 ads blocked, 2 HTTPS upgrades, and 2 seconds time saved. Now, that's almost no seconds, but, you use it over the months, days, weeks. That was a weird time frame, but usually over that, I've seen people who've saved like 50 hours, and that's just people who use Brave all the time. And the thing about Brave is that it's literally just a browser with an inbuilt ad blocker, and it's cool because you're just surfing and you just don't see any ads ever unless those ads are literally inbuilt to the website. And this works perfect with BAT because BAT, the whole point is that the advertisers can show ads on the Brave browser, where ads from Google and Facebook, they don't show up. They're not there. They're not part of the system. Only Brave ads are part of the system. And so every time you see an ad on this browser, you know that you're going to be paid for it. Actually, right now, I think they're starting ad trials, but they don't have the whole ecosystem up yet. So you might not get paid when you see ads right now. But, that's the idea. That's the end game. And just as a side note, I want to talk about the tokenomics because, I just realized that's pretty important to talk about, which is that the reason why you would want to use the BAT token is that advertisers, they pay in BAT. Publishers, they receive their money in BAT. Users also receive their money in BAT. So let's say it's the year 2025. BAT and Brave browser, they've really blown up. They're like Google, okay? It's like $20 a coin. Right now it's like 15 cents, so it's crazy. Like thousands of percent of returns. Price is stabilized. So who's actually sustaining that price? Why is that price where it is? And the idea is that you have three different groups: users, publishers, and advertisers. So the advertisers will want to always be buying BAT so that they can pay the BAT team and the Brave team to advertise. So that's where the demand comes from. So where the selling comes from is from the publishers who receive BAT and want to sell that BAT for more widely adopted currencies that they could use to live. And the user as well is able to sell their BAT, or it can be redistributed to the publisher. So advertiser, BAT comes in. Publisher and users, BAT goes out. But at the same time, users can decide to do what they want with their BAT. So let's say I'm a user and I receive 10 BAT for watching an ad. That's a ridiculous amount of BAT for watching an ad. But let's just say I can choose to say, hey, I want to put this BAT and send it to New York Times. I want to send one BAT a month to New York Times and one BAT a month to Philip DeFranco, who is a verified Brave publisher, by the way, huge YouTuber. And you can do that. You can adjust it here in the preferences. Let me show you really quick. You go on preferences right here, and you go into payments, and you can buy BAT if you want to, consistently support the people that you watch on YouTube or the websites that you frequent. And down here, you can include more sites that you want to pay. So right now, basic attention token, you got the whole thing, but you can add different sites that you like, and you can adjust how much you want to pay them as long as they've decided they want to be part of this Brave system. So back to Brave, it's literally just a browser that has a built-in ad blocker, but it's essential for BAT to work because BAT is introducing this whole new system of advertising, so it can't work with browsers like Google Chrome or Safari, which already have, like a Google-dominated system. You have the Brave browser, which is specifically geared towards BAT. So they'll work together. The team behind BAT and Brave are led by Brendan Eich. I think that's how you say it. Who was the creator of JavaScript and Mozilla Firefox, which is another browser. So this is a guy who has an insane track record of success. You guys know that, a decent amount of people use Firefox. Everybody uses JavaScript. This is a guy who has been shown to deliver, and there's really no reason to think that he won't because, in the past year, they've gone YouTube support, Twitch support. I'm constantly seeing new YouTubers come in and talk about Brave. And what's really cool about, this basic attention token is that because their goal is to take, they want advertisers, they want users, and they want publishers. And what's really cool is that they can get users by getting the publishers. So, when they go and approach Philip DeFranco, they say, hey, this is a way you can make more money. And by just telling your users, you'll make more money by telling your users. So there is really a kind of tried and true way for them to get the people that they need to enter their system. Because like I said, publishers, they have no reason not to use this system. It's not like by using the system, they're losing money elsewhere. No, there's just money to be gained. This is literally just profits to be made with no downside. Users, same thing. Your privacy is already being used. You're not paying for anything unless you want to with this system. You're receiving BAT for watching the ads that you were going to watch anyways when you were on Google. And the advertisers, again, they're kind of the last people that you want because you need a solid user base and publisher base before, advertisers want in, before they're saying, okay, there's enough people here that I would want to advertise to them. And getting publishers and users, I think, it's really in the line with what the crypto sphere is right now, which is built on hype, which is built on, awareness everywhere. But a lot of coins don't need awareness. They need functionality. They need, they need the code and the tech to actually come out and be useful. BAT already has that code and tech, and they're working on it. But at the same time, what's really important are the publishers and the users, and that's where, the crypto, hype is really useful. Because while others just get their price pumped for no reason, the more the price goes up and the more people know about BAT, just the better for BAT it is because it relies on these people. It relies on the users, the people buying the crypto. It relies on publishers, the people who are receiving the crypto. So I think it's a really great project in terms of looking at advertising and how crypto projects are advertising and what the goals are when you advertise. A lot of teams or coins just want more money, so they just advertise to everyone. But even if Brave or BAT advertise to everyone, that's just a good thing for them because they need more people to be aware of this advertising system. And that's why I like BAT. For the most part, I think I covered everything. BAT, like I said, it's still a work in progress. You're not getting the full functionality when you're on it right now, neither in the token or the Brave browser. But I think the team has shown, they've gone YouTube, they've gone Twitch support. They're really working on their Google Chrome extensions. They're trying to make it the best experience that you can get. And they're really early, so you still have to worry about, can they do this? But at the same time, like I said, their CEO, their leader, Brendan Eich, he has a track record of success. And I think for things like business, having previous projects that you've very successfully, managed to do in terms of JavaScript and Firefox, those are really good signs for how BAT will turn out. And overall, I think BAT has a very solid use case. It doesn't struggle from kind of an identity issue when it comes to, the Brave browser versus the BAT token. I think they work seamlessly together. And one coin that I want to compare it to is actually Ripple, in terms of a lot of people are speculating and a little confused about, hey, like there's the company behind Ripple who are, working with all these banks, and then there's Ripple itself, the currency, and how do those two work together? Are banks actually going to be using Ripple the currency, or are they just going to be working with the Ripple team to make their own currency? A lot of doubt going along that, but the Brave team and the BAT team have made it very clear that the BAT and Brave browser work hand in hand. There's a very specific reason why you would buy BAT, like I said, the advertisers, and there's a very specific reason why the value of BAT would continue to go up as more advertisers come in, and the more publishers and users you get, it's just everything will just grow together. And I think it's just great as a utility token, and I think it's one of the most solid idea utility tokens out there, especially considered to the other solutions for this problem. Something like Oyster Pearl. They say they want to, sell a small portion of computing power in the background so that you don't have to watch ads anymore. And while it's a very unique idea, I personally think that this is better just because I don't think advertisements or digital advertisements are going anywhere. I think they're just too important, and that if something like Oyster Pro came out, advertisements would just become more expensive because they want to advertise to all the people who are on the internet. And I think Brave and BAT are such a great way to, kind of get the best results from everyone involved, and keeping their privacy, giving them more money, helping them with better targeting. Just every part of the ecosystem works great together. And even though I don't see utility tokens growing a lot in the next year or two, just because I don't think blockchain is at that, commercial adoption point yet, I think BAT is a long-term hold that, will grow over the course of 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And if this is discouraging to any of you holders right now, I just want you to know that that's what I think, is because while this might not get adoption, right away, it's definitely one of those things where as more people realize that Google and Facebook are taking your data, they're using it without you even knowing, and all these products that you thought were free actually aren't free, they'll switch over to this Brave BAT system where you know what you're getting. They're being very transparent about what they're doing with your data and that they're trying to protect you. So, final thoughts, just great team, great project, smart idea. Tokenomics are incredible in terms of, looking at the value of the token and why that value would go up. And I think that's what a lot of projects actually don't really focus on, but they really should be doing that. And that's what most of you should be concerned about. And BAT and Brave have all of that in spades. And really what's left is just for them to continue and finish what they're working for. And if you believe they can do that, then I think that you will be very happy that you have this token. Thank you guys for watching another one of my coin reviews. And again, if you have any criticism, comments, or anything, please drop me a comment or message me directly. And I will be back with more coin reviews and other videos. Thank you very much.